This is Audible.
His $1 billion Secret Baby. Written by Frankie Love. Narrated by Lacey Laurel. Chapter 1. Dane. Here I am, on the beach in Miami, soaking up the motherfucking sun. This club overlooking the ocean is banging. Waitresses are walking around in string bikinis, their tits in my face and their asses hanging out. The only problem is that they're all cookie-cutter women. I want someone different. I'm sick of the same old shit. My friends are here, smoking their cigars, talking about their yachts, and their harem of women they've collected over the years. I don't bother with that shit. I keep a woman for a night, no longer. I've got no interest in getting shackled. Why would I? I've seen what happens when you get attached to people. In this life, there are no fucking guarantees. That's why I play hard and fuck harder. But damn, either I'm getting old or just becoming straight up picky. I want something different than what I see. Work is a grind, and being a billionaire CEO of a Fortune 500 company affords me a life of luxury. But what use is it when at the end of the day I'm chasing tail? Hell, Dane, you need to get yourself a woman. You look tense. My friend Leo says. A waitress brings me a vodka soda, and I tuck $100 bill in her bikini top. She blows me a kiss as she walks away. You planning on tapping that? Leo asks. I shrug, knowing I'm not in the mood for her tonight. I want a woman who is one of a kind. All week, I've been around women who are tan with fake boobs and nice round asses. It's no different in Manhattan. There, the women wear all black and permanent scowls. Maybe I'm just nostalgic today. It's the anniversary of my parents' death 15 years ago. A car accident that changed everything. My brother Thomas went off the deep end after their death. I haven't seen him in 10 years. So yeah, today I'm feeling lonely, and my mom would hate this bullshit vibe here. My mom was from a different era entirely. I remember the way she wore an apron when she made dinner, her big Jackie O sunglasses on sunny days, her signature red lips. She was a classic. I exhale, the memories getting me all lost in the past. Leo presses me again about my plans for the night. I want something different tonight. A different kind of woman. Leo laughs, elbowing me, his hand motioning over the crowd. All these women here, you could have your pick. Yet you want someone different? He laughs. You always have to make things difficult, don't you? I shrug again. I don't know. Maybe I'm over this Miami scene. I need to get back to New York. I haven't worked in weeks. Always working for the man. I scoff. Leo, get your head out of your ass. You know as well as I do that I'm the man. I don't work for anybody. I work for myself. I hear what you're saying, but I don't think it's as simple as that. What do you mean? I ask, taking a drink of my vodka. I mean, everybody works for somebody, for something. For example, you're working to prove yourself to the parents you lost. I cut him off. Damn, Leo. Now is really not the time to get heavy. I say defensively, not really interested in getting into my baggage out here in public. Not when the sun is out. Fuck, the women in the corner of the pool are taking off their bikini tops. Everyone is lit and looking to get laid. You really want to go back to the basics at a time like this. Leo shakes his head. Man, you've got some chip on your shoulder tonight. I wasn't joking when I said you need to get laid. Like I said, I'm looking for the right woman. Leo laughs. Yeah, right. As if she exists. You're so fucking hard to please. I push Leo, grinning as I call bullshit. You're such a fucking jackass. How do you know what it takes to please me? Maybe, because we've shared enough hotel suites over the years that I've heard you banging plenty of ass. I know it takes a lot to get you off is all. I run my hand through my hair. Leo, you're a fucking piece of work. You know that. Are we seriously sitting here talking about how I fuck? Right now, we should be talking about who I fuck. That's the only way my mind will stop living in the past. I hear you, man. In that case, let me help you choose. I give him a sidelong glance. You want to choose my woman for tonight. You think you know what I need? Leo shakes his head, his eyes scanning the crowd. I snort and look away. I drop my head back, looking up at the sky, wondering why I've spent so long looking to fill the hole in my heart with women who are just passing through. It's been 15 years since my parents died. It's time for me to become a man. Just then, Leo juts out his chin, and I follow where his eyes have landed. A group of bachelorettes just came to the club. They're drunk and wearing sashes reading Bride Tribe. You want me to fuck a woman who's engaged? I ask, looking at the woman with a tiny veil perched on top of her head. She looks just like the rest of the women here in Miami. Tan, toned, plastic. No, not her, Leo says. His eyes run over the group of 5 women, and they land on the one who isn't wearing a teeny tiny bikini. He's pointing to a woman in a polka dot one-piece, a giant straw hat atop her head, and huge black-rimmed sunglasses covering half her face. Jackie O glasses. She's as pale as a full moon. She's also fucking beautiful. If I was looking for something different, Leo found it. This woman is not like the rest. I mean that in a good way. She's exotic, which is saying something considering we're in Miami, a tropical paradise. This woman, though, she looks like she doesn't belong. At least, she doesn't belong here. In fact, I have a feeling that tonight, she belongs with me. You picked a winner, I tell Leo, realizing that maybe he does know me as well as he thinks he does. He laughs knowingly. I hand him my drink. I need to know her name. I need to know her. Now, she's a woman I could take home to meet my mom. The kind of woman who could be more than a fling. She's the kind of woman I could make my wife. Chapter 2. Dottie. I love my best friend Lexi. I really do. We were college roommates, so, of course, I got on a plane in New York City and came to Miami for her bachelorette party. Even though I love her to pieces, this is so not my scene. Maybe, in the 3 years since we graduated, I've become a spinster. But I know that's not it entirely. I've never been considered a free spirit, a free-for-all. People use words like prim, proper, and responsible when describing me. Usually, that description works just fine. In fact, it's the truth. After all, I'm a high school guidance counselor, and not exactly a living on the edge kind of lady. But right now, I either need to go home ASAP or give in to what is going on around me. I don't want to be some uptight busybody, not on Lexi's weekend. Everyone else seems so capable of having fun and letting loose and smiling. It's not that I'm morally opposed to any of those things. It's just that those things don't ever happen to me. Earlier this week in the staff lounge, the music teacher, Miss Sandalas, who is approximately 80 years old, asked me about my spring break plans. When I told her about the trip to Miami, she smiled, exhaling a politically incorrect statement. Oh, thank goodness, Dottie. Everyone has been talking about how badly you need to get laid. Everyone who? Miss Sandalas just waved me off, microwaving her leftovers. Just the faculty. Like, in general? She nodded as if my sex life was a regular topic of conversation. Someone your age should be having sex at least 4 times a week. 4 times? A week? How about once? Ever? This had gone on long enough. My virginal status was nothing I was intentionally holding on to, but maybe I had reached a point where I needed to intentionally lose it. I'd be lying if I said Miss Sandalas and the entire staff at my school didn't spur me into action. I had spent years hiding in my shell, but I didn't want to die a virgin. Heck, I didn't even want to end spring break a virgin. So, I went out after school that day and got a bikini wax. Then, I ordered this super cute swimsuit and even paid for overnight shipping, which, considering my teacher's salary, means something. It means I have one real plan for this week, even if Lexi knows nothing about it. I plan on finding a nice-looking man who wants to sleep with me. I don't need anything hot and heavy. I just need good old-fashioned vaginal penetration so I can finally get over this hurdle that is getting bigger and bigger every year. But standing here at the cabana of this premier Miami beach club, I'm realizing that I'm overdressed, which is saying something considering everyone else is in bikinis. Why, oh why did I order a one-piece? And why didn't I get a spray tan like all the other ladies with me? I thought I was being so on point. Oh my God, Lexi says, squealing. She's wearing high heels, a string bikini, and a sash that says bride-to-be. She looks freaking hot. I look like I stepped out of my grandma's high school photographs. Oh my God! Did you see the ladies in the pool? They're stripping. I can't even. Lexi screams. This is the best bachelorette weekend ever. The other lady starts squealing. All women I've known for a long time. And I squeal too. Because, heck, I'm on spring break in Miami. If there was ever a time to just have fun and let go, this is it. I'm so glad you're here, Dottie, Lexi says, squeezing my hand. I know this isn't your scene, but it means so much to have you by my side. I pull her in for a quick hug, then kiss her cheek. I'm so happy to be here too. When I step away, I know what I need to do. I can be fun Dottie today. Why shouldn't I be crazy Dottie for once in my life? It's time to just go for it. I think we should get wasted tonight, I tell Lexi. Like, right now. Lexi drops her jaw and so do the other ladies. Did you just suggest body shots? Lexi asks. I laugh, rolling my eyes. I did not say body shots. I said wasted. As in several drinks. Like, we could start with margaritas. Let's work our way up to body shots. I know my offer means a lot to Lexi because she smiles broadly, telling me again that she's so glad I'm here. The waitress comes over and we order a round of margaritas on the rocks. Then, we set down our bags, take off our shoes and cover-ups, and slip into the pool. We're only in the water for a moment before I look over and see a man staring at me. He's smiling with his arms crossed, a smirk on his face, a look that says he has plans I don't understand yet. He is tall, ripped, and the kind of man that can make a woman forget herself, forget everything. One look at him gets me hot in a way I've never experienced. My nipples are hard and I feel myself clenching my pussy, longing for things I don't exactly understand, but want to know. I may have said I was going to get wasted today, but maybe I'll start with throwing caution to the wind. It's time. Here you go, Dottie, Lexi says, handing me a cup rimmed in salt. Thanks, babe, I tell her, lifting my glass for a group toast. To Lexi and Andy. There are tons of flotation devices in the pool. Donuts and pizza slices and flamingos. Lexi and some of the other girls jump on them and float to the center of the pool, trying to keep their drinks from sloshing. I stay behind, liking this corner of the pool. From this vantage point, I'm in the shade, and since I have a thing about getting sunburned, this feels like a better spot than front and center. Lexi and her caramel skin soak up the sun like there's no tomorrow. But for me and my fair complexion, I go from alabaster to lobster in about 12 minutes flat. It doesn't matter what kind of SPF I'm using. My skin is allergic to the sun. So, I'm gonna sit here on this step and enjoy the breeze from the ocean. It's a gorgeous view. Bright turquoise water, miles of white sand, dozens of boats and jet skis crisscrossing the waves. Everything about this place screams sexy and fun. And money. I can't believe Lexi found herself a husband with so much disposable income. I don't need this kind of luxury every day, but occasionally, it's fun to enjoy this decadence. I need more of this in my life. Not the decadence, the uninhibited fun. Looking around this cabana, I see so many people laughing and drinking and kissing. The couple to my right is more than kissing, actually. In fact, I swear that they are... I swallow. Is that his... Okay. Yes, certainly more than kissing. She's rubbing him up and down. Not wanting to awkwardly watch them, I leisurely move through the water under a bridge to a more private location of the pool, a location that couple probably should have headed to but chose not to. This pool is massive. It's like 8 pools put together, and if you want something more discreet, you could easily find it. No judgment, though. Hell, it's their spring break as much as it is mine. I sit down on a step at the edge of the pool, thinking about that woman who was stroking the man she was with. Her hands were under the water, with me right there next to her. She didn't so much as blink in my direction. She was so caught up in the moment, so caught up in the man she was with, the man who was holding her at the waist and pulling her to his lap. I exhale slowly, and then, realizing it's getting pretty damn hot out here, I start drinking my margarita as if it's water. Okay, that's better. At least it's better for a moment. Because before I've had a chance to really cool down, the man who was looking at me earlier has walked over to this end of the pool. He's standing only a few feet away, and my body is so piqued at his proximity that I fear I'll combust if he gets any closer. Earlier, he was in a white button-down shirt with his shirt sleeves rolled up. Now, his chest is bare, and he's in nothing but a pair of swim trunks. His hair is dirty blonde, and a few soft curls fall into his face. The salty air is responsible for that, I think. And I wonder what he looks like when he's in a suit and tie, all dressed up with somewhere to go. The margarita must be working because I take my time looking him over, not overthinking how much I'm staring at him. I eye his broad shoulders and his six-pack, so firm and tight. So tight. I swallow, thinking about how tight I am. Down there. How much I wish I weren't. How much I wish he... Okay, it's time to get a hold of myself. My mind is headed to dirty places I've only ever read about. Do you mind if I... He starts. Before he can finish, I shake my head and tell him I don't mind. I don't mind anything. And yet, I don't even know what he wants. Do you need another drink? He points to my empty glass. I manage to reply with a yes, and with a literal snap of his fingers, a waitress arrives with another round of cocktails. I thank them both appreciatively, and watch as the man hands the woman a $100 bill. She returns his generosity with a light-hearted, kissy face. Must be nice. I certainly don't get those kinds of tips at parent-teacher conferences. Have you been to this club before? He asks. The idea that I've been here before is ludicrous. I couldn't fit in any worse if I tried. Which is funny, considering this guy looks like he was made for Miami Beach. He's tan and chiseled, and obviously has lots of money. And I'm not just talking about the tip. He's the kind of man who has the confidence you only possess when you're loaded. I know this how? Because it's the kind of confidence I've never actually had. I'm the kind of girl who has always worked hard, scholarships and part-time jobs during college. Now, I live in a studio apartment and work as a guidance counselor at the public high school. Not exactly a lucrative career. Still, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Helping people find themselves, working through problems, and becoming a shoulder to cry on is a privilege, and I don't take my job lightly. I'll take that laugh to mean that no, you haven't been here. He steps into the pool and leans against the edge. Though, if you'd been here before, I'd certainly have seen you. You live in Miami? I ask, sitting up straighter. My swimsuit may be conservative, but at least my breasts look flattering in the spandex. No, I live in New York, but I come here often. I swallow because I live there too, but I guess his borough is slightly different than the one in which I reside. So, you're here on vacation? I ask. Looking around, I see that no one's around us, now that the waitress has left. We are tucked away in a private oasis. Palm trees hang above us, creating a secluded nook for this complete stranger and me. Why does that not scare me? I take a sip of the margarita and think again about the couple, kissing and touching one another so openly. I eke out a small whisper. Why? I'm not sure. Okay, that's a lie. I am sure. I want what that woman had. No inhibitions. A moment to just completely give in. Mrs. Sandilas wouldn't even recognize me right now. What's your name? He asked. But by now, I'm so uninterested in the idea of pleasantries, I shake my head. Let's not do that. I mean, I know why people come to Miami. Why they come to this cabana. Oh yeah, and why is that? They come here for pleasure. To lose themselves. He steps toward me, and with the moves of a man who has done this more times than I could count. And you want to lose yourself. He looks me over just as slowly as I looked at him. I wonder what he sees. He must like it because he inches closer to me. I part my knees, silently inviting him closer still. I do, I tell him. I want to lose myself completely. I swear to God, he groans at that. I can't help but smile unabashedly. For the record, I've never made a man groan. This is all new and exciting, and a total fantasy scenario. Are you interested? I ask. He snorts. It's charming, actually, the way he lets his head fall back, laughing as he does. His arm effortlessly slides around my shoulders, his hands resting on the bare skin of my back. His touch makes me hot, gets me excited. Are you propositioning a total stranger? He asks, and his smile could get us both in lots of trouble. But I'm not looking for trouble. Right now, I'm just looking for fun. I think his smile promises that too. Yes, I tell him. I think that is exactly what I'm doing. I lick my lips and he shakes his head ever so slightly, muttering, damn, under his breath. But I need you to help me, I admit. How so? I've never done this before. A proposition a stranger. No, yes. I mean, I've never had sex. His eyes widen. But, baby, we don't... I cut him off. I need this. I need this from you. Me? He asks. Why me, baby? Why not? He laughs again, and I take off my hat and sunglasses, setting them on the patio. I begin unfurling my long brown braid, already anxious to start whatever's going to happen next. Women are usually more. I shake my head. I don't want to know about other women, and what more they are or aren't. This moment needs to just be about us. He looks at me more seriously now, as if considering my words, as if they are words he's never considered before. Okay, baby, I can do that. I can make this all about us. Good. I stand, his arms tightening around me as if swearing to God he won't let go. Then show me. Show me what I need to do next. Chapter 3. Dane. The fact she doesn't want to tell me her name is charming. Adorable, actually. Most women I meet in places like Miami or New York City or Milan want to know how many zeros are in my bank account. The fact that this woman has no clue that I am Dane Westbrook turns me on. I like her innocence, her openness, her willingness to give into this moment, no strings attached. I honestly believe she isn't looking for me for anything besides a day she will always remember. It's refreshing, and I want it. I want her. I know I was telling Leo that I wanted something different today, but this isn't just about wanting someone different. It's about wanting her, specifically. Maybe it's because I'm already in this fucking emotional, vulnerable state today. Or maybe it's her bright eyes or her long caramel hair, now hanging loosely around her shoulders. Maybe it's this polka dot one-piece bathing suit covering all the places I really need to see. I'm intrigued. I'm turned on. I'm ready. She says she wants me to show her what she needs to do next, right after she tells me she's a virgin. She lets me know she's been waiting a long time to give a man everything she has to offer. She makes sure I know she is ready to give it willingly. Baby, I'll show you. I tell her. I'll show you what we need to do. I lift her up then, needing her arms wrapped around me, needing her legs wrapped around me, needing her body close. My hands take a hold of her cute little ass, squeezing her cheeks as her arms wrap around my neck. She's caught off guard, surprised, and I like that. I want to keep her sense of wonder all day long. Do you care if anyone sees us? She asks, her eyes darting around the pool. No, I tell her. No need to worry. No one will come over here. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure. Besides, you said you wanted to lose yourself completely, right? You don't need to worry about anyone else right now. Right now, you only need to worry about the here and now. She nods, trusting me. I already love that about her. Her ability to accept that I'm looking out for her best interest. I like it when you're wrapped around me, I tell her. She bites her bottom lip. Her eyelids flutter closed. She looks so damn sweet. A man's never held me like this. My cock is fucking hard, and I want her to feel it, to know what she's doing to me. I loosen my hold on her ever so slightly, letting her body slide lower so her pussy can press against my cock. Do you feel how hard I am? I ask, leaning into her ear, blowing hot breath. She shivers, and I hear her let out the softest moan. She knows what she wants, and she's ready for it. I feel you. I feel you against me. She repeats, her head falling, her back arching, and all I want right now is to get her out of her swimsuit. I want to run my hands up and down her body, to touch her pussy and make her come. I want her nipples in my mouth, and I want her hands on my cock. I want her completely. Not wanting to miss out on this perfect moment, I lean down and find her lips kissing her hard. Our mouths part. My tongue finds hers. She smells like paperback books and the first day of school. She tastes like crisp red apples, like purity and innocence, like an unpicked piece of fruit. She is everything I am not. And in this instance, for the first time in my life, I wish I were more. I wish I were a different sort of man. I wish I were the sort of man who could be with a woman like her, a woman so good and honest. But I know what kind of man I am. She's too good for me. But for now, she's giving me a gift I don't deserve, and I'd be crazy not to take it. Our kiss seems to last forever. Her hands thread through my hair, and my eyes hold her close to me. Her chest is pressed up against mine, her nipples poking through her spandex suit, and my fingers inch under the bottoms of her swimsuit, wanting to feel the skin of her ass, wanting to feel her. When I touch her, it seems to open her up, and suddenly we're kissing like our lives depend on it. Kissing as if we must, in order to breathe. Kissing like we're never going to stop. But I need more. I'm so fucking hot for you, I say between kisses. She looks at me, her eyes glazed over, her lips swollen, her body peaked and primed. Me too. I need you too. She tells me. Her words are no longer flirtatious, no longer hinting at propositioning a stranger. No. Now her words tell me she needs to be fucked by a man. I set her down and pull off my shorts, setting them on the edge of the pool. Her eyes peer down, taking me in. The water is clear, and so are her eyes. She likes what she sees. You're so big, she moans under her breath, shaking her head as she takes me in. Yes, I am, baby. So big and so hard. My cock is going to fill you up like you always dreamt about. I stroke myself up and down, her mouth opening at the sight of me as if it's some primal instinct to seeing a man's cock. Seeing my cock. I took off mine. It's time for you to take off yours. She nods, and I'm glad she's willing. I want to make sure she really wants this, and that I'm not pressuring her in any way. When she reaches up and pulls down one strap of her suit, I know I'm not taking her anywhere she doesn't want to go. She pulls down the other strap, and then, with her face flushed with the newness of this moment, she pulls it down, at last exposing her breast. I swear to fucking God, her swimsuit was doing her no favors. With her tits out, she looks like a totally different woman. A woman who is ready to be devoured. Her tits are gorgeous, the kind of breasts that have never been touched, tits that aren't used to being kissed and caressed, being loved. Damn, you're fucking beautiful, I tell her, reaching for her nipples, unable to help myself from running my hands over her breast. There's something about her skin that feels innocent, ready to be awakened. She looks up at me with so much desire, with so much unfiltered want, that I help her out of the rest of her suit. I pull down the material past her hips until it falls to her ankles, and she steps out of it, setting her suit next to mine. That's when I get a good look at her, A good look at my virgin who stands completely naked in a pool in Miami. Well, this cabana isn't really a public place. People respect one another here, and if you see a couple getting down, the proper thing is to keep on swimming. But this section of the pool is very private, and no one is coming back here. Not here in the shade. They want to be out in the sun on the beach, being loud, crazy, and wild. But that isn't what I'm doing right now. This isn't wild, and we aren't drunk. This is pure pleasure, and we are both totally aware of what we are doing. I already know neither of us will have any regrets when we wake up tomorrow. We want this. We're asking for this. I look down at her, past her belly to her pussy. I need to touch it. I need to leave my mark on her. You want me to touch you? I ask, leaning in, my hand on the base of her neck and pulling her to me. I kiss her again, this time more insistent, more demanding. This time, I pull her toward me and sit down on the steps, her body straddling mine as if we are in perfect harmony. And maybe we are. Maybe this moment had been orchestrated long before we showed up. Maybe she's been waiting for me her whole damn life. I run my hands over her body, over her bare back, and her velvety ass. She reaches for my cock tentatively, looking down at it while licking her lips, and she begins to stroke me up and down, my balls tightening at her touch. I can barely wrap my hands around you. I kiss her neck. It feels so fucking good when you touch me, I tell her. Her tits are so perky. I love how real they are. When I touch them, my hands are on a woman who is 100% real, 100% herself. She is authentic in a way that I haven't experienced for a hell of a long time. I need to touch your pussy, baby, I tell her. I need to touch you to make sure this isn't a fucking dream. It isn't, she tells me. This isn't a dream. This is a fantasy come true. You've imagined fucking a stranger in public. I've imagined a lot of things over the years, she says, laughing. Being a 25-year-old virgin has given me a lot of time to think about what I'd like. Why now, baby? I ask, my fingers moving toward her opening, and I feel her soft pussy lips. They are practically begging me to come closer. I do, and damn, am I rewarded. Her pussy is like a perfect little present, an untouched gift just for me. I've waited for no good reason. I'm the kind of woman who lives life on the sidelines, never center stage. And you want the limelight? I ask, trying to understand her. She shakes her head. No, I don't want attention. I just want to be touched, to enjoy myself. Is that too much to ask? No, it's not too much at all. Even though we're in the water, I can tell she's nice and wet. Wet for me. My fingers run up and down her slit, and she takes a sharp inhale of air. No man's ever touched me down there, she admits. No man has ever touched me at all. She trembles as my fingers press inside her tightness. She whimpers against my touch, and damn, her pussy is tight. So nice and tight and so fucking warm. I press 2 fingers in her, moving along her opening, finding her clit and thumbing her in fast circles, nice tight strokes. I want to make your first time memorable, I tell her, feeling like she waited all this time for me. I am the person she is supposed to be with right now, today, and I want to make sure she has the time of her fucking life. I want to make today something you'll never forget. Her face is flushed, her arms wrap around my neck, and our foreheads meet. Oh my God, she murmurs. Why have I waited for so long? I can't help but grin. You waited so long because, baby, you were waiting for me. She lets out a giggle, and that's when I add another finger, and I start finger fucking her harder, needing to get her untapped pussy nice and ready for my cock. She kisses me again, biting my lower lip, teasing me. She kisses along my jaw, along my neck, her body responding to my touch. Her hand moves faster against my length, moving up and down the hard ridges, moving up and down my massive cock. "Oh God, I can't breathe," she says, her head falling back, her eyes squeezed tight, and her legs shaking. I pull her close, keeping a finger deep inside her, pausing as an orgasm rushes over her. She's moaning, unable to hold back as another wave of pleasure fills her up. "It's unreal," she whispers. "Whatever you did, that was... oh, God." She groans, her hand moving to my wrist, and she pulls me from herself, lacing her fingers with mine. "Your hand is fucking magic," she tells me, shaking her head in disbelief. "Oh, baby, if you think my hands are magic, you better get ready for my cock." And then I lift her ass up ever so slightly and set her down on my dick. Because, baby, you're about to take a wild fucking ride. Chapter 4. Dottie. When I sink down onto him, my body splits apart, but in a perfect way. It's like whatever I was before, whoever I was before, that woman no longer exists. I don't need to hold back because I've already let go. I'm naked, straddling a stranger in a public pool. Okay, this pool isn't exactly public. There was $100 cover, and that's a woman's ticket. I heard it cost a man $1,000. But I don't want to think about that right now. I'm only thinking about this man literally entering me. He eases me down. His hands are on my hips as he guides me. He fills me up, and I sit on his cock as he fills up my pussy the way I always imagined. The orgasm I felt when he fingered me rocked me to my core. But this? Now I'm being filled up in a totally different way. More complete. This man is truly exquisite. His abs are literal washboard. His arms are rock solid and firm. His hands are strong enough to hold me. His eyes pierce me to my center. His words are charming, and yet somehow they seem sincere. He wants me. And that reality causes me to smile wide and let myself go. His cock fills me up. My pussy is so tight that it hurts. I take a deep breath and move past the pain and enter a place that can only be described as bliss. My pussy screams, the kind of pain that hurts so good. My pussy tightens as I'm stretched in a way I never expected. I've touched myself, trying to make myself come, but whatever my hand does, it doesn't compare to what his hand knows intrinsically. And his hand doesn't even come close to his cock. As I grind against him, adjusting to his size, I swivel my hips, loving the way he fills me. He watches me with wonder, and I can't help but forget the lonely nights of my past. I need this, to be totally filled by him. With him inside me, I feel totally alive. I move, my clit awake and my body on fire. He feels so good in me. I don't want to stop moving against him, loving the way my pussy throbs when he thrusts his length inside me. Watching you get off is so fucking hot, he tells me as I move against his body. He pulls my breast to his mouth, licking and sucking my nipples as if they were treats. He squeezes my ass, his fingers running up and down my crack, drawing me closer and closer to himself. My pussy is hot. My pussy is burning. I grind harder against him, needing this, wanting this. His cock is going to burn me alive. Oh my God. I groan, knowing that when I come now, it is going to be different from all the times before. Oh God. Oh God, I'm so close. I push my body against him. My arms tighten around his neck, arching my back as he deepens against me. Then, I forget my words. I forget myself. I'm lost in this moment. He holds me tighter against himself. He holds me like he won't let go. In this moment, I am a reckless fool, completely high on sex, utterly committed to the cause. His cum is warm and hot, and it fills me up. He makes sexy growls in my ear, telling me to keep going, that it isn't time to stop. So I keep riding him as he comes, deep inside me, and I come harder too. We may be in the water, but I feel slick with sweat and drenched in euphoria. When we finish, I don't remember how to breathe. I've forgotten everything I knew. My name, my phone number, and my home address. The only thing I know, the one thing I can remember, is that this is the moment I changed. This is the moment I became the person I was always meant to be. What did you do to me? I ask, gasping for air as pleasure surges through my veins, not quite knowing if this is the kind of sex everyone has, or if this is just the kind of sex we have. He looks down at me, alarmingly confident, and most certainly a demigod sent to this earth just for me. He raises an eyebrow. I just made a woman out of you. I nod dreamily, not caring how chauvinistic his words might sound. Then he smiles at me, and I know he was just being silly. The truth is, I'm not the girl I was before I met him. He changed me. As I move from him and sit down on the step beside him, I try to remember everything about the moment. Thank you, I tell him. I reach for my suit and begin dressing. What? That's it? One fuck and you're through? I look him over and smile. I know I'm not the kind of girl he's used to having, but I'm happy to have been his girl for 1 day, 1 hour. I'll never forget you, I tell him. And that's supposed to be enough. He's already shaking his head, reaching for his trunks. You're seriously just gonna walk away after that? I laugh, pulling up the straps on my suit. I'm here for my friend's bachelorette party, not a romantic rendezvous. And what do you call what we just had? His face is turned to a scowl. I can tell he's not used to being rejected, but that isn't what I'm trying to do. I just want to let him off the hook easily. He doesn't owe me anything. We just had fun. He cuts me off, shaking his head. That wasn't fun. It was fucking hot. You're right, I tell him. It was. It was a moment I'll never forget. I lean over and kiss his cheek. I didn't come to Miami for a boyfriend, and I know I'm not the kind of girlfriend this man would be interested in anyway. He's a player, rich, and probably has a different woman for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm just his afternoon snack. I'm not expecting anything from you. What if I want to give you something? At this, I shake my head. Considering we didn't use protection, I truly hope you didn't. Apparently, I've crossed a line, and as soon as I've said it, I wish I said something sweeter, told him something more romantic, because the truth is, what we just shared really was romantic. I'd be lying if I didn't admit it was a romantic rendezvous. But I also don't want to get attached to someone I'll never see again. Look, I say, trying to soften things. Thank you again, but I really need to go find my friends. He scoffs. Just like that. He shakes his head and gets out of the pool. I really thought you were different than this. What did you think I was? I can't help but ask. I thought you were a tender-hearted woman who saw me as more than what everyone else sees. And what is that? The fact that you have to ask ruins the entire thing. So, you regret this after all? I ask, watching him get out of the pool. I just lost my virginity. I feel both intoxicated with exuberance and ridden with disappointment. He wishes it hadn't happened. This Greek god, who has a back ripped with muscles, whose body moves with a fluent self-possession, a man so strong standing here in the flesh, I can't believe this man was inside of me. He turns around facing me again. His eyes now ring with a sadness I wouldn't have believed he could possibly understand. But when I look at him now, I know his emotions are as true and firm as anything else in this world. And my words have stung. It's shocking to think I have any sway over this man at all. I don't regret it, he tells me. No one could regret what just happened. It was the best sex of my life. Hell, the best hour of my life. He clenches his jaw, steeling himself. But I'm gonna try to erase this current conversation from my memory. I move to leave the water, but he shakes his head, motioning for me to stay put. Listen, I say, I don't regret it either. And you can be comforted by the fact that you just did something very nice for a complete stranger. It was a random act of kindness. He snorts, not liking those words either. A random act of kindness. That's what you call this. Raising his hands in defeat, he adds, I don't have time for this. I really thought you were different. And then, without another word, he walks away. I watch as he zigzags through the crowd, but then I lose him. And I know I'll never see him again. Tears sting my eyes as I press my knuckles to my lips, willing myself not to cry. I try to regain my composure, not wanting Lexi or the rest of the party to see me upset. I don't want anyone to know about what just happened. So, I try and focus on what I do want to remember. Yes, the encounter ended on a very sour note, but the rest? It was perfection. I look around and seal this moment to my memory forever. As I get out of the pool, looking for a restroom, I memorize the salty air and the palm trees swaying, the pelicans soaring toward the ocean, and the party music in the distance. I sigh, knowing this afternoon has changed me forever. I smile. This cabana smells like coconut oil and it looks like sex. But more than anything, it feels like spring break should. Chapter 5. Dottie. 15 months later. While holding Asher, I one-handedly turn on the mobile above his crib. Winding it up, I pray that he manages to stay asleep tonight. Okay, mister. You know this is Mommy's favorite night. You are going to be a little angel and stay asleep, okay? I kiss his cheeks, inhaling his baby powder, freshly bathed 7-month-old smell. He may be driving me up the wall with his sleeping patterns, but for the most part, he's pretty much perfection. I lay him down in his crib, and he reaches toward me, smacking his hands together as if clapping. You got this, baby, I tell him. You know you want to sleep. You know you want to go nighty-night. I speak in a sing-song voice, chanting the mantra that he'll one day have memorized. Sleep is good. Sleep is bliss. I'm hoping if I say it often enough, he'll start to believe it. As if by a miracle, he seems to acknowledge me by drooping his hands and rolling to his side. Letting an exhausted sigh of relief escape, I readjust my nursing tank and turn off the light to his closet/bedroom. Once I found out I was pregnant, I upgraded from my studio apartment to a 1-bedroom with a walk-in closet, a la baby nursery. It felt like destiny. I can barely afford it, but it's close to Asher's daycare and right next to a subway line. I'm able to go to work every day and be home by 4. I may not have a designer diaper bag, but I do have a way to make ends meet, and right now, that seems like more than enough. I close the door to his closet halfway, flipping on the white noise machine before I make my escape to the living room. I pick up the remote and turn on the TV, and see the last few minutes of Jeopardy are on. Perfect. I grab a box of white wine from the fridge and 2 empty mason jars. A minute later, the buzzer rings and Lexi arrives, just as The Bachelor begins. Hey, pretty mama. She leans in for a hug. Asher asleep? I nod. Thank goodness. I know it's only Monday, but already it feels like this week is going to be a doozy. Well, I brought Thai food. It will improve the mood. Promise. Legs crossed on the couch, with the TV on, and containers of to-go food in hand. I forget about staff meetings, teacher evaluations, and recommendation letters. Instead, I bliss out for the next 2 hours with my best friend, gossiping, bullshitting, and relaxing with Chris Harrison in the background of our weekly best friend date. We've been watching this for how many seasons? And still it never gets old. Lexi laughs, and I hand her a glass of boxed Pinot Grigio. I know, and I think it's going to be the closest I'm going to have to my own love life for a really long time. I can't imagine dating while being a single mom. I take a drink of wine, blinking back memories of Asher's father. He would have stayed with me that day in Miami if I had asked. He wanted more time with me, and I pushed him away. And now I'll never know who Asher's father is. It might change. Asher is still so little, Lexi says, squeezing my knee. She's been my rock this last year. Finding out I was pregnant after her bachelorette party rocked my world, and the fact that I didn't know the name of the father was a shocker to everyone I've ever known. I was the responsible one, the put-together one, the make a New Year's resolution and stick to it one. Not the one who got pregnant on spring break, to a complete and total stranger. The one who loses her virginity in a public place without using protection. I joked with that stranger that he might have given me an STD after we had sex. But the truth is, he gave me the greatest gift of my life. Asher is the unexpected gift I don't think I deserve. He's my whole world, my everything. He gives my life meaning and purpose, and Lexi squeals, causing me to drop my train of thought. Oh my God! Do you think he's going to give a rose to either of the girls on the 2-on-1 date? Lexi asks. I shove noodles in my mouth, eyeing the bachelor. I don't think either of those girls is his type. I decide. Yeah, but I wasn't Andy's type either, and we've been married for a year now. Opposites attract. I think back to Miami, because everything always leads me back to Miami. The day my life changed forever. It seems like the stranger and I were opposites too. He was rich and sexy, and I was neither. But when we were in one another's arms, when he was touching me, kissing me, it seemed like we made sense, even if only for a moment. What would have happened if I hadn't pushed him away, if I had pulled him near? I don't know if he would have been a good father. He fucked me like he knew what he was doing, and I'm guessing being a dad would cramp his style. The show ends in a dramatic rose ceremony and the local news comes on. We begin clearing our mess when a story catches my attention. A news anchor starts talking as a photograph of a man flashes onto the screen. I drop the leftovers. My mouth falls into an O shape. Then I let out a shriek. Lexi looks shocked, not just because I dropped the pad thai, but because I'm pretty much freaking out. What? What's happening? I can't speak. I just point at the TV screen and listen as the news anchor reports on the story. In a devastating report, we have just learned that billionaire CEO and New York City entrepreneur Dane Westbrook has been diagnosed with kidney failure. The prognosis is not good, and with no known relatives, Dane is not expected to live through the month. While the story is shocking, Westbrook has released a statement that he is grateful to have lived such a full and abundant life, and his only regret is the fact that he has no living heirs. The anchor gives a sad laugh. And that is a tragedy. Westbrook is worth $9 billion and a child of his would have inherited a fortune. We'll keep you updated on this tragic story as we learn more. Westbrook has become a philanthropist and supporter of education in the greater New York area, along with having donated substantially to the public park system of New York City. Our support goes out to Dane Westbrook and his company. Tell me, what is this about? Do you know him because he gave money to your school or something? Lexi asks. My eyes are still on the TV screen. Him, I say, pointing to his photograph. It's him. Him who? Dane Westbrook. He's the man I didn't know. The man who is... I close my eyes, feeling faint. The man who what? Lexi. I say the words, nothing but a whisper. That's the man who got me pregnant. That man is Asher's father. Chapter 6. Dane. How fucking hard is it to keep the story from the news? To keep the facts on the down low? How fucking hard is it for a publicist and her entire team to keep the story of my impending death quiet? It's bullshit. That's what it is. I have a million people harassing me every day, trying to get my money, laying claim to being my long-lost cousin or some shit. I shout, my fist pounding on the desk in front of me. You know how much time I have left, and this? I say, flinging my arms around the office. This is not how I wanted to spend it. My publicist, Julie, waves her hand frantically, as if she keeps moving, the reality of the situation will change. I know. I'm so sorry, Dane. We're going to get right on it and try to clean up the story. Clean up? Julie, everyone already knows. I'm a fucking hashtag. Hashtag adopt me, Dane. People are doing anything they can to get their hands on my money. It's disgusting. I know. It's not ideal. Enough. I tell her finished. Get out of my office, Julie. I'm done with this. Don't come see me again unless you hear that I am at the top of the donor list and there is a kidney that matches mine. I run my hands through my hair as she scurries off, wondering why I'm not living out the rest of my days in a tropical paradise instead of this cement dungeon determined to drag me down. The last thing I want to do is deal with gold diggers, and the one person I'm actually interested in hearing from hasn't come out of the woodwork. I haven't seen him in a decade. He's been on the run ever since he tried to get away with murder. Well, he did get away with murder. I know he was the offender in the hit-and-run accident, but he went off the radar, and no one has seen or heard from him since. And he is the one person who could save me. He was always like that, though, hiding in the dark, not wanting to live in the light. My secretary, Carla, buzzes me on the phone. Dane, there's a woman here to see you. I sit down in my leather chair, letting my head fall back against the headrest, closing my eyes. With one finger, I press the button to respond. I'm done with the bullshit. Book me a trip to Tahiti or Jamaica. I don't fucking care. Just get me out of the city. Your doctor said no. Okay, fine. I get it. I shake my head and try to close my eyes again. It doesn't ease my mind, though. My thoughts always return to the moment 2 weeks ago when my doctor told me my kidneys were failing and that they couldn't save me. It's a rare genetic disease that has deteriorated my kidneys, and I must have gotten it from my parents. But since they died 15 years ago, I can't exactly ask what their DNA was to figure out who passed it on to me. My phone buzzes again. I don't care what the doctor says, I growl. Right, Carla says slowly. But about the lady here? I don't want to see her. I'm exhausted, not just because I'm sick. I'm exhausted because I'm at the end of my life, and what do I have to fucking show for it? One-night stands, a bunch of partying, friends who only know my name because they're hoping to get something from me? That's not a whole lot of substance. There's only one night that mattered to me in my whole goddamn life. Well, not even a night. An hour. The woman from the pool in Miami. I should have never fucking walked away. I only did because she assumed I was exactly the kind of man that I am. A player who wouldn't be good enough for her anyway. But I still shouldn't have walked away. I should have stayed and tried to be a better man. Though, the fact is, I may have saved us both some heartache in the end. Not having anyone who loves me means no one is really gonna give a fuck when I die. The office line buzzes again. Are you fucking kidding me? I say. I know, sir, but she insists. She's coming in. The door to my office opens, and in an instant, everything changes. It's like I let my mind wander back to that afternoon in Miami, and the universe just opened up and dropped her into my life. I blink, not believing what I see. I sit up, trying to understand. What the? I shake my head. Hi, Dane, she says, shutting the door and stepping toward me. She looks just like I remembered, but fuller now. Her breasts are larger, her curves begging for me to grab hold of them. She steps into my life, and it feels like everything since I left her that day has been a dream. And only now am I waking up from it. I don't know if you remember me, but I'm Dottie, she says, standing across the desk. And I have something I need to tell you. Chapter 7. Dottie. I cry myself to sleep after hearing his story on the news. Lexi stays the night, promising me that everything is going to be okay. I just don't know what to do, I say, salty tears rolling down my cheeks. You have to tell him, she tells me, handing me a tissue. He deserves to know. He might not even remember me. Sweetie, it isn't about you. It's about Asher. I know she's right, but I'm terrified. I don't want everything to change. The past year and a half have been so hard. I face so much judgment from other people, yet managed to keep my head held high. I kept my life together for Asher. And contacting Dean Westbrook will change my life forever. Will change Asher's life. And isn't that exactly what happened the first time I met him? But Lexi's right. I need to find out more. He's dying. He has weeks to live. Still. The next morning, when I call in sick to work and drop Asher off at daycare, I can't help but feel selfish to roll into his office now and tell him my part of his story. The part that will link us together in life and in death. The part he has no idea about. In the news story, he said his greatest regret was not having a family. I swallow my tears as I get on my subway headed to Uptown where Google tells me his office is located. I chose not to bring Asher, needing to meet him myself and make sure he could handle the truth. I try to imagine what it would be like to know you were dying, to feel all alone in the world, and then to find out you have a child. It's the cruelest joke the universe could play. I don't even know if he wants a child, but Lexi and I had stayed up reading his wiki page and looking at his social media profile, triple confirming that Dane is my baby daddy. And even if he's been a player in the past, his impending death changes things. And honestly, his days of being a player truly did seem behind him. He had donated millions to various charities, and not just 1 million here, 2 million there. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars to our city. I always wanted Asher to know who his dad is, but I never expected his dad would be dying when we figured out who he was. And now, standing in the Manhattan office of Westbrook Inc., a venture capitalist firm, tears well up in my eyes again. The secretary is frazzled, and I am sure she has been fielding calls all day. In fact, I watch her phone lines blinking, and she keeps putting people on hold while I wait my turn. Eventually, she looks up at me, informing me that Dane isn't seeing anyone. But I had already forced my way past security, insisting and crying and eventually getting to his secretary. No way am I leaving without seeing him. When she calls Dane, telling him someone's here to see him, he refuses to see me. That's when I give up being polite. This is worth causing a scene over. And now, I'm standing across from Dane Westbrook in his office. His face is written with shock over seeing me. One look tells me everything I need to know. He remembers me. He remembers our time together. And then I look at his handsome face. His eyes brim with a pain he hadn't experienced when we made Asher. He possesses a sorrow that a man so young shouldn't know. Dane is dying. And no matter how many times I wished I knew who he was, for Asher's sake, I never imagined this moment going down like this. I never imagined that the moment I found out his name, I would also find out he had a timestamp on his life. Oh God, he says, rising from his chair. The realization that I'm here clearly shocks him, and he grips the edge of the desk, his biceps flexing, and his button-down shirt stretching over his muscles. Even if he's sick, he's as strong as ever. In control. Taking him in takes my breath away. He looks like Asher. My Asher. And Asher looks just like him. Tears spring to my eyes, completely in shock at this revelation. I blink back my emotions, imagining Dane's baby pictures, certain they would show the same blonde curls and bright blue eyes and cheeks with dimples. Dane's baby pictures would be mirror images of Asher's. I can't speak. I'm the one falling apart when he is the one who is going to die. Are you all right? He asks, coming around his desk toward me. I shake my head, my hand at my chest, unbuttoning the top button of my blouse as I try to fan myself, cool myself. I'm suddenly so hot, so overwhelmed. I'm faint. And I'm not being fair. This shouldn't be about me. This needs to be about Dane. I look in his eyes, and in an instant, I'm back at that Miami cabana. Coconut and sunscreen and margaritas. Salty lips and salty air and sun-streaked hair. His arms on me, his body against mine. A moment of reckless abandon. A moment of worlds colliding. We made a child. Asher. And now Dane is dying. You need some water. He flings open his office door. Carla, I need some water now. Yes, sir. Carla rushes in and brings me a bottle of water. Dane thanks her, tells her to clear his schedule, and then shuts the door. Locks it. I guzzle the water. I can't breathe. I look at him and I feel a million emotions. Heartbreak. Desire. Lust. Love. No, not love. I can't love a stranger. Can I? But what I feel for him is something deep and true and spans beyond life and death. It's not just because he is Asher's father. That is part of it. But it is also that when he looks at me, he sees me. You heard then? He asked as I finished the bottle of water, trying to ground myself in the moment. When I saw the story last night, I finally figured out who you were. Your name. I want to tell him about Asher. But he touches my cheek while sighing the deepest, most agonizing sigh I've ever heard in my life, then runs his hands through my hair. The kind of sigh that is laced with regret. I just don't know what sort of regret right now. Is it regret about ever being with me? Regret over what his life could have been? Regret over walking away? I'm so fucking glad you saw it. Dane shakes his head. I've been yelling at my publicist all night and day, but if the press meant you found me, then it was worth it. He runs a hand over his chiseled jaw. A jaw I kissed. I want to kiss again. Bittersweet, though, isn't it? He laughs sharply. Too sharp. A sharpness that was probably embedded in his heart the moment he found out about his diagnosis. A sharpness he shouldn't apologize for. He has weeks left to live. Life is a fucking trip, isn't it? He asks. I can't help but smile, and then he is smiling too. I don't know why we would smile in the middle of this mess. I still haven't told him why I came, but when he looks at me, I can't help but see the world through a different lens. And he is looking straight at my heart. He gives me a look so full of desperate longing that all I want to do right now is make his pain go away. I'm a fucking mess. I mean, when you met me, I was a mess, but a different kind. Back then, I was out of my head most of the time, partying way too hard. But I met you, and everything changed. What do you mean, everything changed? I have to ask. Because what he doesn't realize is that everything changed for me too. The day we met is the day I became a mother. After I met you, I realized if I ever want to be a man who was good enough for a woman like you, I needed to be a better man. I needed to stop the bullshit, the games. I wanted to be the kind of man my parents would be proud of. A man you would be proud of. So I started giving money to places that matter, started learning about ways to give back. In short, I stopped living for myself, and I only did that because I met you. His words are so surprising, so unexpected. My eyes fill with tears. It's hard to believe that 1 hour with me caused you to change your entire life. Even as I say it, I know it's not hard to believe at all, because 1 hour with him changed my entire world. Meeting you was the best thing that ever happened to me. I bite my bottom lip, savoring his words and knowing how true they are. I wish we had time to fall in love, to grow old together, he said sincerely. It's cruel to meet again, like this. But even though I'm dying, meeting you made the last year of my life so much better. You, Dottie, gave my life meaning. Dane presses his palm against his face. This strong, confident man is coming undone. The news story reported that he had no family, no living relatives. What would it be like to face death with those facts before you? I lay a hand on his shoulder. I don't know if I have the right to say anything to you right now. I tell him, knowing that as a guidance counselor at a high school, I get paid to listen to people tell me their problems, and I do my best to encourage them. But if you want to talk, I'm here for you. I can be a shoulder to cry on. He drops his hand, taking in my words. And as he does, it's like a weight has been lifted from the room, as if offering him my support lessens his burden. I don't want to talk to you, Dottie, he says slowly. I stiffen, not expecting those words. You don't? He shakes his head, then cups my face with both his hands and pulls me toward him. I don't want to talk. I want to make love to you. My eyes shoot up in surprise, but his eyes are hungry with desire. And my body responds to his touch, waking up from a 15-month slumber. Please, Donnie, I don't want to talk right now. I want to feel like a man who is still living. I nod, leaning in, needing his mouth on mine, knowing I would never deny the father of my child his dying wish. Chapter 8. Dane. Maybe it's unfair to unburden myself with a woman who barely knows me, but she stands in this office listening to me as I cry in front of her. She tells me she will be a shoulder for me to cry on. She doesn't ask me for a single thing. Her and me, in a different life, a life where I wasn't going to die. We could have been something beautiful. We could have made a life we would have been proud of. Hell, she's the reason my life is something I'm proud of at all. I never considered philanthropy before I met her. I was nothing but a greedy motherfucker. But all that changed when she walked into my life, and she doesn't even understand it. She doesn't seem to realize the effect she has on me. Her mouth is so close to mine, her lips so tender and pink, her eyes rimmed red, and I imagine her crying over me, over the news. I hate that my life has caused her any pain, and the fact that she's giving herself to me again is more than I fucking deserve. When she kisses me and wraps her arms around me, when she leans into me, it's with an ache, I understand. She needs this, and I need her. My arms wrap around her waist, pulling her closer to me. My cock is already hard as I remember her naked flesh against my chest at the pool. All I want is to see her body again. Hell, I haven't even slept with a single person since we were together. That amounts to 15 months of jacking off by my lonesome to her memory. The images of her polka dot swimsuit, her perfect tits bobbing in the water, her creamy skin that had never been touched. And now she's here. I push everything off my desk, papers scatter and books fall, and hell, I think a laptop crashes to the floor. She looks at me wide-eyed, surprised. She doesn't understand my hunger. But then, she's ripping off my shirt, unbuckling my belt, and I realize I didn't give her enough credit. She understands my hunger because she's fucking famished. Her hand runs up and down my chest, whimpering as she touches my body, and I pull down the zipper on the back of her dress, help her to shrug out of her sleeves, letting the dress fall to the floor. She's wearing a simple cotton bra and a basic pair of panties that tells me she hasn't been fucking strangers. No, she wouldn't be wearing these underclothes if she had frequent hookups, and I like that she isn't reckless every day. Hell, maybe she was only reckless one day. She flips off the overhead light, telling me the fluorescent ones are too much. I don't care if we're in the dark or if we're in the sunshine. All I want is her. All I need is her. And somehow, right now, I have her. I lay her back against the desk and pull off her panties, tossing them aside and spreading her knees apart. I press my mouth to her pussy before she has a chance to reconsider. And with one lick, I know this is right. The day we met, I finger fucked her. I had to open her tightness until she was ready for my cock. But I had never seen her with her legs spread apart, open for me. And now I lick her up and down, and her back arches against the glass top of my desk. My fingers press into her pussy, rubbing her hood in a circle, and my tongue darts deeper and deeper inside her, wanting to taste and explore her until she comes against me. Her hands thread through my hair, and her legs wrap around my head. Good girl. I'm no longer thinking about life or death. I'm only thinking about us. Her pussy is so fucking sweet, and I lick her hard as she whimpers under me. Her pussy is dripping now. She tastes like sweet red apples, and I'm desperate for more. I suck on her clit, and when I do, it causes her to moan. And with her on her back like this, I want to make her scream my name. I lick her harder, one of my fingers pressing inside of her, hitting her G-spot over and over as my mouth kisses her thighs, as my mouth licks her skin. She's coming, hard against my hand, and I move my mouth back to her sex, wanting to drink up everything she offers. I'm coming, Dane. She groans as an orgasm washes over her, leaving her gasping for breath. I smile as I lick her, loving that she's giving in like this, loving that she's making my dreams come true. I need to see you, she begs, and not wanting to disappoint my baby, I sit down in my leather chair, unzipping my pants as I do. She crawls off the desk, getting to her knees, kneeling between mine. Her mouth opens and she begins to take all of me in her perfect mouth. Her fingers fondle my balls. They are so hot and tight. It's been so fucking long since I've been touched by a woman. It's been since the day I walked away from her at the club. The biggest regret in my fucking life. So today, I will go as long as she likes. My schedule is cleared, and I have all fucking day. All day to fuck her. Oh, baby, I say, running my hands through her hair, pressing the back of her head so she can deep throat me. She loves it. Her head bobs up and down so fucking fast, taking so much of my veiny cock. I'm so fucking close to coming. She keeps sucking, suctioning her lips around me like she spent her life blowing me. I can't let this be like it was the last time we fucked. I close my eyes, willing myself away from the fear of what might come next. And instead, I come into the present. The release fills up her mouth, and she pulls me from her, letting ribbons of my cum shoot against her big tits. She licks her lips, and I imagine the drops of my cum sliding down her throat. Her eyes are cloudy with pleasure. Her pussy is still aching for more. I only know that because she reaches her fingers to herself, touching her pussy as she continues to jack me off, her hand wrapped around my solid shaft as my cum coats her nipples and her creamy skin. She pulls me back into her mouth as if she can't bear to have this be the end. She sucks me until I'm emptied, and then she asks how I like to fuck her pussy. I growl in response, telling her to bend over my desk so I can press my cock into her from behind. She does as I say, and I spank her round ass nice and hard, and she screams in pleasure as I do. My hand runs over her ass crack to her pussy, her sweet, wet pussy that drips for me. I plunge my still hard cock back into her, her body trembling as I fill her up. Her elbows rest on my desk, and I take a fistful of her hair, pulling her toward me. She looks at me over her shoulder, and my mouth meets hers. I thrust deep inside her, kissing her as I do. Our kiss is so desperate that I'm scared of what will happen when it ends. I fuck her, putting my heart on the table. I fuck her, putting it all on the line. This woman has stolen my heart in a way no one else ever could. In this moment, my body feels invincible. Even though I know my lease on life is short, I fuck her as if I could live forever. I come hard in her pussy, and she comes hard against me too. Oh, God, Dane, don't stop. She screams my name, just like I prayed she would. My mouth kisses the base of her neck, her back, and I pull her tight to me, my hands full with her breast, her naked body against my naked body, my heart beating in time with hers. We come a third time, and as we do, I don't know how the hell I'm going to say goodbye when we've only just had a chance to say hello. Chapter 9. Dottie. We finished fucking once. Then do it again. And again. And again. It's as if we were trying to make up for the last 15 months in one afternoon. I have rug burn on my knees, and I'm famished. I haven't had anything to eat since breakfast, except... Okay, never mind. I don't think Dane Westbrook's cum counts as a meal. But oh my God, when he's inside of me, I feel so full. We should get some food, he says. We're lying on the floor, our hands laced together as one. My leg is draped across his leg, and from this viewpoint, it seems impossible that his kidneys could fail him at any hour. I look over at the clock on the wall and do a double take. Oh, shit. What is it? Dane asks. I have to go. I have to... Suddenly, my throat constricts. I can't breathe. I just fucked this man for the last 5 hours and didn't tell him the one thing he deserves to know. Dottie, what is it? Don't freak out now, he tells me. But I'm already standing and reaching for my underwear and bra. I fed Asher before we left this morning, but now my breasts are aching me full. It's time for me to pick him up at daycare. I can't afford to keep him there more hours in the day. I'm not freaking out, I swear. I just have to be somewhere. I have to... But Dane doesn't like that I'm leaving, and suddenly he's fuming. Really? How can you just walk away like this, after the day we shared? Dottie, what are you thinking? You can't just... He exhales, running his hands through his hair. I hate to see him this way, and I feel like an idiot for not telling him about Asher sooner. But I had to meet him first, make sure he is a solid man, a safe person to be around Asher. And now that I know he is, the pressure is so high. He is dying, and introducing him to his child before he goes, it feels cruel. How sick are you, Dane? The news said that you had kidney failure. I looked it up online. Are you getting dialysis, or... I've been getting dialysis for the last 6 months. It's doing nothing. I could die at any fucking moment. And what do I have to show for it? I own $1 billion company and don't even have a child to pass my money on to. What kind of person has no family? I'm so sorry. I hate that you've been alone through all of this. Then don't leave. What could mean more than us? Than what could be? Or at least, what could have been? I try to say it. I try to say the words. But the words feel wrong. I should have brought Asher with me, even if it's painful knowing he's going to die. It would have been easier if he were in my arms and Dane could see his face. It would be so obvious, so crystal clear he's his father. Tomorrow I can bring Asher to him and show him his son. At least this way, he will die knowing he has a legacy. I have to go. Trust me. Tomorrow my whole day is yours. I promise. But I have to do something right now. I say as he crosses his arms in frustration. Don't be angry with me. I promise when I see you again, it will make sense. You will be so happy. You'll be so... I stop because maybe he won't be happy. Maybe this will kill him. Whatever you have to do, I understand. You don't need to explain anything to me, Dottie. I'm just so glad we had today. I pull on my dress and reach for his hand. I'll be back, I swear. You don't owe me anything, Dottie. I feel so goddamn lucky to have had any time with you at all. You are the most beautiful woman I've ever known. My mother would have loved you. His words bring tears back to the surface. I wipe them away with the back of my hand. Was she a good woman? He smiles softly, memories washing over him. The best. You know, the day we met in Miami was the anniversary of her and my father's death. I was so sad that day, missing them. Then I saw you wearing those big black sunglasses. My mom wore sunglasses like that, and it pulled me to you. I knew you were different, and I was right, Dottie. Whatever happens next, know this, I will always treasure you. This isn't goodbye, Dane, I tell him, my heart brimming with emotion. Dane may have had a colorful past, but my heart breaks over the fact that he can't have an even brighter future. Until next time, then, he says, pulling me in for a final kiss. And with that, I step out the door of his office, knowing when I return, I will change his life. Chapter 10. Dane. Dottie left a message telling me tomorrow morning she wants to meet me at my house. Of course, I want to spend the whole night with her, but I didn't fight with her on it because I know it's more important for me to take care of myself. Doctor's orders, especially after the fuckfest today. I gave Dottie all I had to give, and I savored every moment of her body next to mine. Her pussy was as perfect as I remembered, and when she wrapped her mouth around my cock, I thought I might drown in pleasure. It's hard to sleep. I'm anxious and scared, and I toss and turn all night long, wishing that just one of those people who had been calling my office all day would have been my long-lost brother. Thomas left after the hit and run, and I haven't seen him since. Most of the time, I'm glad a selfish fucker like him isn't in my life, but right now, for selfish reasons, I wish I had him back. I'd do anything for a kidney. How was I supposed to know kidney disease had been passed down from my parents? My parents died when I was young, and I know nothing about their medical history. I hate that my brother left the way he did, and with him gone, there will be nothing left of the Westbrook name. An entire family gone. This last year taught me so much about what kind of man I could be. I know it's sick to dream about a life with Dottie, but I've imagined it so many times since the day we met. I imagined buying her a beautiful home, rooms full of laughter, and our children. A life that is full of love. I won't get that fantasy, but I do get the honor of seeing her again, and that is more than I expected to get. She says she's coming to my house after 9, and knowing that helps me fall asleep. A fucking miracle, all things considered. I'm glad she's coming here. I want her to see this place because after we made love all day yesterday, I called my lawyer and changed my will. I'm leaving everything to her. Every last dime. Every last cent. I may not have told her I loved her because maybe that's foolish to do after you've known someone less than a day. But I know enough. I know I want to give Dottie everything. When I wake up, though, I don't feel right. I'm lethargic and parched, and I know something is really wrong. I call my doctor, and before I know what's happening, I'm in an ambulance on the way to the hospital. Of all days, of all months, all the years of my life, now is the time my body is calling it quits. It doesn't matter how strong you are or how much money you have. We have one life, one body, and none of us are immortal. I've been on the kidney donor list for months, but no matter how much of a priority I am, there hasn't been a match. No amount of money can legally get me what I need to live. And at the end of it all, I'm just a man who wishes to be with the woman of his dreams, a man who wishes he had a life to live. And now, I am in a hospital bed, hooked up to medication attempting to reverse the sepsis. But without a kidney, nothing can be reversed. I'm so sorry, Dane, Mr. Morrow says as he enters my hospital room. But I think it's time for you to make some calls. How is this possible? How could a man go so fast? I feel weak. My blood is thick. My eyes are heavy. I know I'm going to die. My secretary Carla is here, and I tell her to call Dottie, to call her now. If I'm gonna die, I want to end my life looking into her eyes. Chapter 11. Dottie. The morning has been a disaster. I haven't slept more than 3 hours straight, so I'm a train wreck. Thankfully, Lexi came over early this morning with reinforcements, bagels and lattes. Best friends are better than sex. Almost. I mean, yesterday pretty much ruined me for any other men for the rest of my life. Looks like Dane Westbrook is my one and only. Okay, I'll just run out and grab some Tylenol. I think Asher slept so poorly because he's teething. Lexi grimaces. The subways are down. I read it on the news this morning. A bunch of issues with some of the tracks. How did you get here? I asked. I drove. Oh, actually, you should take my car. It will save you time. You can get to that super Target in like 4 minutes flat, and it's free parking. It's better than taking Asher out of the car when he's in meltdown mode. How do you know all these things, Lexi? I asked, grabbing my purse. I may not be a mom yet, but I'm good at taking care of you. I'll give you that, I say, finishing my latte. You're good at convincing me what to do. I think if you hadn't have told me I had to go to Dane yesterday, I would have chickened out. And yet, yesterday was the best decision I've ever made. Yeah, but we both know what decision you didn't make. I still can't believe you didn't tell him. Lexi was shocked that I didn't tell Dane yesterday. But I know introducing him to his child face to face will be so much more meaningful. I didn't want to tell him in an office. Lexi snorts. Yet you had no problem fucking him in the office. True. I let out a sigh. I'm trying not to think about how sad this all is. Every time I do, I start to cry. It's crazy to feel so strongly for a man I barely know. But Lexi, he is my soulmate. I just know it. We go together. And yet, tears start falling down my face. He is so tender with me, and I've always worked so hard keeping things together on my own. But when I'm with Dane, I feel like I wouldn't be in anything alone. He would be in it with me. He sees me as I am. I crumble again as sobs rack me. Oh, sweetie, Lexi says, pulling me into a hug. It's okay to get a little crazy when you're falling in love. And this situation is so tragic. Lexi nods, wiping the tears from her own eyes. Yeah, it really is. Taking a deep breath, she squeezes my shoulders. You better go. Go get your baby Tylenol, and we will sit tight here until you get back. Thank you, I say, slinging my purse over my shoulder and tucking my phone into my coat pocket. You know how Asher gets at the store. Asher gets like every 7-month-old. Needy and clingy and hungry, all at the same time. I'll be back in 30 minutes. I grab the Tylenol at Target and even find myself leafing through the lingerie rack. Not exactly designer, but it is in my budget. I grab a lacy bra, still semi-mortified that Dane saw me in a nursing bra yesterday. Thankfully, I don't think he noticed. I thought it was smart of me to flip off the lights before he saw my stretch marks. Though, with the way he touched me and caressed me and made love to me, I honestly don't think he would mind any scarring on my body at all. When he touched me, I felt beautiful. By the time I'm back in my car, only 18 minutes have passed. Supermom right here, folks. I exhale knowing that I can get through this day. As I pull out of the parking lot, my phone starts ringing, and I see a number from Westbrook Incorporated. My heart sinks as I answer the call on speakerphone. Dottie? It's Carla, Dane's secretary. There's been an emergency. He's at the hospital right now and... She doesn't need to say any more. Manhattan General? I ask. Yes, he's on the 4th floor. I'll be right there, I tell her. I end the call, my hands shaking, tears already running down my face. I drive without thinking. I drive right toward the hospital knowing I have to see him. I have to see him now. As I drive, I remember Asher and Lexi. Tylenol. I'm in her car. How could I be so irresponsible? That's when I remember I never even called in sick today. I am all over the place. Such an uncharacteristic fucking mess. How did my life go from being so normal to being so out of control so quickly? It doesn't matter right now. Right now, I just need to get to that hospital and see Dane and make sure he's okay. Lexi? I say, calling her on speakerphone. Something must be wrong, she says immediately. You never call me, texting only. I know, and something is wrong. Really, really wrong. Okay, what is it? Before I can answer, a car runs a stop sign and slams into the hood of Lexi's car. My eyes close. I scream as a car spins, as glass shatters. This is it. I'm going to die. And then, as if the universe has given me this tiny slice of a miracle, my eyes open. The car stops moving. I'm alive. The car did not explode and I did not perish. I'm alive. And it seems like mere seconds pass before first responders open the car door and help me out. The other car, the car that came out of nowhere and hit me, is totaled. An ambulance is here. A man is on a stretcher. Is he okay? I ask. Is he all right? I ask, pointing toward the man being carried into the ambulance. The officer shakes his head, wrapping a blanket around my shoulders. I shake my head as he leads me to an ambulance. I need to get to the hospital. That's right. That's where we're headed, to make sure you're okay. I try to explain that I need to get to the hospital for Dane, not for me, but they don't listen. They put me in an ambulance and take me to Manhattan General. I guess the universe knew where I needed to end up after all. I need to call my friend, I tell the emergency room nurse. Of course, dear. Just fill out this medical form and I'll get you a phone. I can't fill out anything right now. Lexi must be worried sick. Thank goodness I was in the car alone. If I'd brought Asher with me... I squeeze my eyes shut, the thought making me ill. I blink back the tears. How is this my life? I don't know. The doctor has already cleared me. I was questioned by a police officer and I just need to get to the 4th floor. Fine, I say, knowing arguing with this woman is not going to get me where I need to go. Just give me the paperwork. 20 minutes later, I am given access to a phone. My purse and phone still in Lexi's totaled car. I explain everything to Lexi, who's been freaking out all morning. I'm so glad you're okay, Dottie. I was so scared. I know, it's awful. I'm just so glad I'm alive. The other guy, though, he is in bad shape. He lived, though. Yes, thank God. I don't want to imagine. I start crying, my emotions in overdrive. Can you bring Asher to the hospital? I'm on my way to see Dane. Of course. He's been sleeping for over an hour. Do you want me to wake him up? I bite my bottom lip, remembering how hard a night he had, teething and never getting his Tylenol. Let him finish his nap. I'll get upstairs, see Dane, and call with an update. I have no idea what condition he is in. Okay? That makes sense. Stay strong, Dottie. Asher and I will be there as soon as you need us. I nod, knowing she's right, but also knowing this entire day has been out of control. I know I look like a hot mess when I walk into his hospital room, but when I see him sitting up in bed, relief floods my face and every cell in my body. Dottie, he says breathlessly. His words sound shallow, his eyes dark, his face swollen. How in the space of a day did a strong man become this? As if reading my mind, he says, sepsis. Never sexy. Dane, I'm so sorry. I say, rushing to him, reaching for his hand and pressing my lips to it. Words fail me, and I shake my head, brushing away the tears. But Dane, even in this state, is as steady as ever, grounding me in the moment. This morning, I thought of him as my soulmate, and other people may not understand that, but as I look into his darkening eyes, I know it's true. He is mine. I am his. And yet, he's dying. At least we had yesterday, he says softly, in Miami. Dane, we also had... I start, ready to tell him about his son, knowing there may not be more time. But before I can finish my sentence, a doctor rushes into the hospital room. Dane, a man was admitted to the emergency room. He was just in an accident. He ran a stop sign and totaled another woman's car, and he's dead. I gasp. He's dead? I was just down there, and the nurse told me he was... Oh, God. I cover my mouth, sobs escaping me. If I hadn't been there when I was, he wouldn't have hit me. He could have survived. Why are you telling us this, doctor? Dane asked, exhausted, as if the mention of more death is bringing him down. The doctor looks at us as if the words leaving his lips stun even him. You'll never believe it. What? Dane asked in a subdued voice, as if nothing in the world could surprise him now. Little does he know, I have a surprise that he will never expect. I have a secret baby. His secret baby. But then the doctor smiles, and I don't understand why. Why smile at a time like this? The man in the wreck, the doctor says. He is your brother. Chapter 12. Dane. My doctor's words stun the room into silence. We need to move quickly, the doctor states. He was an organ donor, and his dying words were that he was Dane Westbrook's brother. He was coming to New York to see you. But the donor list, I say, working hard to breathe. The medication I am on is fogging things. Yet my doctor's words managed to come out clearly. I'd have to be at the top of... The doctor cuts me off. You're dying today without this kidney. You've been moved to the top of the list, and Thomas is a perfect match. Dottie reaches for my hand, squeezing it tight. Oh, Dane, she says, gasping at the words the doctor has spoken, words that breathe life into a deadly situation. We must move immediately, the doctor explains. There is no time to waste. You're already at the cusp of being too far gone for this to work. Is that a risk, then? Dottie asks. It's a very high risk. I look at Dottie. She seems to be deciding something. Then she kisses my hand, leans over, and kisses my lips. Then she looks into my eyes and whispers, I love you, Dane. I know we just barely met, but I know you were made for me. This may be the end, but you gave me a reason to live. And I have to tell you, before your surgery, you are a... I want to hear her words, but I can't manage to listen. My body is too weak, and she feels so far from me. My eyes close, and the rest of her words lost on me. My body sinks deeper into the hospital bed. There is a flurry of movement around me, but I'm in a fog, reaching deeper into the darkness that seems to swallow me whole. I love you, I say, but no sound comes through my lips. I love you, Dottie, I say again, not knowing if anyone can hear me. I fall into sleep, praying her words will carry me through this operation, or even possibly carry me into whatever comes after this life. Chapter 13. Dottie. I'm pacing in the surgical wing when Lexi arrives with Asher. He's fussing in her arms, all red-faced and trying to wriggle his way out of her grasp. Seeing him takes away some of the heartache I feel. It's been such a long day. I pull them both into a hug, tears streaking my cheeks, as I explain everything that has happened since this morning. Oh my God! Did you tell him? Lexi asks. We sit in sterile hospital chairs as I open my top to allow Asher to nurse. I gave him a bottle an hour ago, but of course he's been crying for you, Lexi says, setting the diaper bag on the chair beside her. Thank you for everything. I couldn't have done this without you. Asher finds my breast and begins nursing, instantly calming himself. But no, I don't think Dane heard me. I shake my head, remembering the way Dane looked when he was wheeled away for the operation. He looked like he was on death's door. Oh, sweetie, it's too much. I know, I say, blinking back tears. But I told him I loved him, and I know it's only been a few days, but I do. I really do, Lexi. Sobs rack me as I hold Asher close, imagining Dane on that hospital table, as I imagine him not making it through the operation. It's not crazy, Dottie, Lexi says soothingly. Love isn't black and white. You made Asher together. He opened you up in a way you'd never allowed another man to. He must be something special to have done whatever he did to you in Miami. He didn't just screw me, Lexi. And I know that's what everyone thought when they found out I was pregnant. When he made love to me, that first time, it was magical. So meant to be. It's okay to fall in love with a stranger, Lexi says. Hell, I've been married a year, and some days it still feels like I don't know my husband. I managed to crack a smile through the tears. If he dies without knowing Asher? I press my lips to Asher's head. He's fallen asleep against me, milk drool on his mouth. I pull up my shirt and let Asher rest against my shoulder, patting his back softly. Don't think like that, Dottie. Right now, Dane needs you to believe in him. Believe in the power of your love. After all, the fact that you and his brother were in that accident, the crash that brought him a kidney, it seems like fate. But his brother died, Lexi. It's too bittersweet, too tragic to be considered destiny. Dottie, sometimes life is like a sunset. Things have to come to a close for the sun to rise the next morning. Her words make sense, even if they are sad. But maybe not every love story is written in the stars. Maybe some love stories are written on the sun. I close my eyes praying that Dane makes it out alive, hoping on a ray of sunlight that he comes out of this so he can meet his son. So he can meet Asher. The day turns into night, and Lexi, Asher, and I are all asleep when the doctor comes to find us. I open my eyes when he pats my shoulder. When Asher wakes, offering us a smile, revealing a front tooth that finally broke through while he slept. It's as if I can already sense things are going to be okay. He's in recovery and has been asking for you, the doctor tells us. Lexi sits up, wiping the drool from her mouth. So, he's okay? He's alive? Very much alive. The kidney arrived in the nick of time. It's a miracle, I say breathlessly. My world comes back into focus. He is alive, and I love him, and Asher is in my arms, and whatever the world throws at us next, I know deep down that we are going to be okay. It truly is, the doctor agrees. Would you like to see him now? I nod, standing, Asher in my arms. Infants aren't permitted in the recovery rooms. I shake my head. I'm sorry, doctor, but this must be an exception. Dane needs to meet Asher. I don't ask for permission. I just walk ahead knowing I will never hold anything back from Dane again. It's time he met his son. I stop outside the door, suddenly nervous. My stomach is in knots, and even though I'm relieved beyond belief, this moment holds so much importance that I'm trembling. Through the glass window, I see Dane sitting slightly upright in bed. Lexi stands behind me, and she nods, pushing me toward the love of my life. You can do this, Dottie. Don't be scared. You're going to make this man the happiest father in the city. She's right, of course. When I walk into his room, I am to give Dane the most surprising gift in the world, which is saying something considering he's just received a kidney donation that saved his life. You hold Asher for a second, and I'll go in and tell him I have a present for him making it through surgery. You sure? Lexi asks. I'm sure. Smiling, I hand her Asher and pull open the door. Dane? I say tentatively. It wasn't all a dream, he asks, reaching out a hand for me. It's real. I smile, sitting on the chair next to him, savoring the feel of his warm hands against mine, his chiseled jaw, his unforgiving eyes. I memorize him, knowing this face is the face of the man I love, and not wanting to miss a single thing about him. I remember you telling me something before I left for surgery. I smile. Good, because I couldn't bear for you not to know how I feel for another second. I love you too, Donnie. It might be crazy. Shh. I cut him off. He loves me. My heart fills. It expands. The lens in which I see the world is different, knowing I am not in this alone. It can't be crazy if we both feel this way. I lean over and kiss him softly, knowing he still has a long road of healing ahead of him. I'm so sorry about Thomas. Dane nods. So much time had passed. He was a wanted criminal and had removed himself from my life. I had sworn he was only here for my money, yet his dying words saved me. I owe him my life, yet he's already gone. It feels wrong to accept this gift knowing it meant he died. I can only imagine what you're feeling, Dane. I squeeze his hand. But I have another gift for you. I don't need anything from you, Dottie, except your love. I smile. Sorry, Dane, but I refuse to accept that. Oh, really? Is this a bossy side of Dottie I didn't know about? Maybe, but I'm betting there are a lot of sides to both of us we have no idea about. Does that make you change your mind about loving me? He raises an eyebrow. Nothing could change how I feel. I swallow. This gift is going to change a few things. Really? He asks. In that case, I have to ask you something before anything else changes. But when things change, it might cause you to reconsider your question. He scoffs. I'm a man who always knows what he wants, and I want you. Nothing you could give me could change that. Is that so? I bite my bottom lip knowing that me introducing him to his son is something he has not considered, but his confidence in our love makes me brave. It is. He takes both my hands, kissing the tops of them. Marry me, Donnie. Marry me knowing that in life there are no guarantees. This moment might be all we get. I don't want to lose any more days with you. I want them all. I want you forever. I cover my mouth, not expecting this, but I want it with all that I am. Yes, Dane, I will marry you. I will give you all my days and I will give you my heart. But now, you must let me give you my gift. He pulls on my hands, not wanting to let go. I promise, it's good. I move to the door and step out of it. Lexi's eyes meet mine. He proposed. We're getting married. After you told him about Asher? I haven't told him yet. He really, really loves you. I know. And I really, really love him. I kiss Asher's head, open the door again, and step inside. Dane looks at me with confusion. Who's this? He asks. I sit back in the chair, turning Asher to face his father. This, Dane, is my little boy, Asher. You have a child. Dane looks puzzled as I nod. I do. I didn't know how to tell you. It's okay, Donnie. It doesn't change how I feel about you, about our life. I can be— No, I say, stopping him. He is your child. Your son. Asher is our baby. Dane's eyes widen, the same way Asher's do when he's surprised. You got pregnant in Miami? I nod. I didn't know your name, how to find you, but when I saw your picture on the news, I finally knew your name. His eyes glisten with tears. If I hadn't been dying, I would have never known I had a child, he says, reaching for our son. I know. It's bittersweet, but beautiful. A few days ago, I didn't think I had anyone in the world to leave my fortune to. And look at this now. Dane shakes his head. I'm the luckiest man to have ever almost died. But you didn't. Dane kisses Asher on the cheeks, inhaling his perfect baby scent for the first time. My heart melts at the sight of them together. You give me reason to live, Dottie. I look at my boys, knowing they are my reason for everything. Epilogue. 1 year later. Dane. The Miami sun shines down on us. We're on our honeymoon, and damn, this wife of mine makes me so fucking hard. I can't believe you rented this entire club for us tonight. Well, I can't have anyone else looking at my woman, can I? I ask, pulling her toward the pool where we first made love. The lavish cabana is just the first of the surprises I have for my wife. The sunset cruises, shopping sprees, and sex. Plenty of sex. Jealous, are you? You know it, I say, pulling her to me. I reach for the ties holding up her bikini top, letting it fall to the patio surrounding the pool. I lean down, kissing her luscious breast, her tits so round and perfect, I could suck them for hours. The wedding was perfect, Dottie says, pulling down my swim trunks. The palm trees sway in the summer breeze, the smell of coconut oil and the salty sea intoxicating. We are brought right back to the day we met. But so much has changed since then. Our lives have become so rich, so full, so fucking beautiful. It really was perfect. I agree. Dottie's hands are on my hard cock, stroking my shaft the way she knows I like. And Asher stole the show in his little tux. At the mention of our son, Dottie sighs. I miss him, Dane, she says, but I'm so glad we are alone for the week. I needed time alone with you. I know, baby. Me too, I say, kissing her lips softly. When our mouths part and our tongues meet, we sink into the kiss. Hard. I pull the ties on her bottoms, letting them fall, and then I press my hand between her thighs, needing to feel her warm pussy against my hand. Oh, Dane, she moans, her pussy slick with desire. I'm so wet for you. Yeah, you are, I say, kissing her neck, massaging her tits, knowing my baby likes to take her time when she fucks, never rushing a moment. Dottie knows life is precious, and she realizes the importance of taking her time with the things that matter. God, I love her. I pick her up, her naked body a temple I get to worship for the rest of my goddamn life. I carry her to the pool, my cock throbbing and ready. Her legs wrap around me, and I know she'll never let go. She wants me to take care of her, and lucky for her, I need to be her protector, her security. I live my life focused on being the kind of partner she deserves. A husband, a father, a real man. In the water, I pull her to my lap. I pluck her hard nipples and watch her face as she melts under my touch. Dane, I love you so much, she says, her hands pressed to my chest, her 14-karat diamond ring sparkling in the sunlight. This woman in my lap, though, she is the real gem. I may have bought her a penthouse apartment overlooking Central Park and made sure she has a private driver, but I know none of that matters to her. When she looks in my eyes, I know she loves me for the man I am. Hers. She lifts her ass, needing my cock to feel her nice and good. And when she sinks down on my shaft, she moans without inhibition. She is not timid or shy, no longer an inexperienced virgin. No. Now she is my wife, and she knows exactly what she likes. She likes to fuck long and hard. She can go for hours, her cunt dripping as she comes over and over again. And I know our honeymoon is going to be a week of tangled sheets and a tender pussy, because I know I plan on licking her up and down until my face is coated in her cum, until she shakes from pleasure and trembles for my cock hitting her core over and over again. God, I'm fucking hard thinking about it, and as I feel her tight pussy, I thrust hard inside her, knowing my baby likes it deep. She holds tight to my shoulders as I move against her, her hips swiveling as she rides me like she was born to do it. I fucking love you, Dottie, I tell her, pulling back her hair and watching her tits bounce like the fuck toys they are. I have a present for you, Dane, she moans as I grab her ass, squeezing her cheek so hard nearing release. I don't want to come yet. I want to keep fucking Dottie right here, like this, with her back arched and her lips swollen and her heart mine. It's a wedding present, Dane, she groans, coming against me with bated breath. You didn't need to get me anything, baby. What is it with you and gifts? I remember her surprise present after my kidney operation, introducing me to the second great love of my life, our son. I can't imagine why presents are on her mind at a time like this, when I'm fucking her. But Dottie is always full of surprises, like when she started a nonprofit in NYC to help train public school counselors to help low-income students apply for college. Like when she started running the Westbrook Charity for Single Parents. She is nothing but a dream, this wife of mine. And right now, as I fuck her into oblivion, as my cock explodes, my cum shooting inside her like it was made to do, I can't begin to imagine what surprise she has for me now. Oh, God, Dane, she whimpers, her pussy throbbing as she orgasms against me. Oh, yes, yes, oh. She closes her eyes, a smile spreading across her mouth. Thank you, Dane. she whispers, catching her breath. I pull her to me, loving her so damn much. So, are you ready for your present? I look into her eyes. I see her soul. This woman is my fucking wife and the mother of my child. There is no present on earth I deserve. I already have everything I've ever dreamed of. I'm pregnant, Dane, she says, her hands on either side of my face. We're having another baby. Her words catch me off guard, and I pick her up by her tight little ass and spin her around and around in the pool, whooping and hollering because she just made me luckier than any man deserves. She laughs, telling me I'm crazy, and she's right. I'm fucking insane for her and our life. Then I pull her mouth to mine, wanting to freeze this memory in my heart, not wanting to miss this moment or the gift that it is. This has been His $1 Billion Secret Baby, written by Frankie Love, narrated by Lacey Laurel, copyright 2017 by Frankie Love, production copyright 2018 by Frankie Love.
Audible hopes you have enjoyed this program.
This is Audible.
His $1 Billion Secret Baby, written by Frankie Love, narrated by Lacey Laurel. Chapter 1. Dane, here I am, on the beach in Miami, soaking up the motherfucking sun. This club overlooking the ocean is banging. Waitresses are walking around in string bikinis, their tits in my face and their asses hanging out. The only problem is that they're all cookie-cutter women. I want someone different. I'm sick of the same old shit. My friends are here, smoking their cigars, talking about their yachts, and their harem of women they've collected over the years. I don't bother with that shit. I keep a woman for a night.